Hello everyone and welcome back to Linux tutorial. On this video we are going to see the different Linux distributions. So first of all, what is Linux distributions? It's an interesting question if you are new to it. Linux distributions means who are all really promoting the Linux. Now you know it's free. So when it is free, who is really working behind this free product? So there are multiple companies. They are working on Linux operating systems. And now we are going to get a glance on those companies. So the first one is Ubuntu. Ubuntu is one of the most popular Linux distributions. And Ubuntu is famous for what? That's more important here. Each Linux distribution is important in some areas, and the Ubuntu operating system is one of the most important and most popular and widely used operating system for PCs and laptops. It has beautiful GUI that you have it, and it's almost similar to your Windows or Mac. It's very easy to use it in your day-to-day life. And even if you don't have much of the technical knowledge on Linux, Ubuntu is one of the best that you can start with. And if you're a person who is very new to Linux and if you really want to learn Linux, I highly recommend you to set up Ubuntu operating system on your laptop and PC and just start using it. You might have some problem in the beginning to understand how it works, but later, I'm sure in a week time, you'll be very comfortable with Ubuntu because the use is quite similar to Windows operating system. And the second one is Linux Mint. Linux Mint is a lightweight operating system, which means if you have a very old hardware or if you don't have if your hardware configuration is pretty low, then Linux Mint can be one of the best options for your hardware, because Linux Mint does not require much of your hardware. And the third one is the Red Hat Enterprise Linux. These three are the three major Linux distributions that you can really look at it, and later getting into other Linux distributions will never be a difficult thing for you. So first you understand that okay, for desktop PCs Ubuntu is one of the best, or if you have a less hardware you can go for Linux Mint. It's light and that runs beautifully on your hardware. And finally, if you really want to set up an enterprise server for your company, then Red Hat Enterprise Linux. And here is the system requirement for Ubuntu, Linux Mint and Red Hat. So basically for Ubuntu you need minimum 512 MB RAM, 2 GB is recommended. I mean it can also run with 512, but you can find some sluggishness with 512, so therefore 2 GB is recommended. And hard disk you should have minimum of 5 GB, but if you have 25 GB, that is well and good for your Ubuntu operating system. On the other side, for Linux Mint, you need minimum 512 MB and recommended is 1 GB. And with respect to hard disk, minimum 9 and Mac and recommended is 20 GB. And for the Red Hat Linux, 1 GB is the minimum, and you can go to any limit based on the system. And for hard disk you would need minimum 4 GB. So here one thing that you need to keep it in mind, Ubuntu is mainly used across PCs, and Linux Mint you can use it especially when you have a less hardware configuration. And Red Hat Linux is quite popular server grade systems. If you want to set up a server grade system for your experiment or at your workplace, then Red Hat Linux can be a good choice for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions on this part of the lecture, please feel free to log into our Q&A session. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to see you on the next video. Thank you.